What is going on, everyone? My name is Drew Spencer with the React and Attack Football Podcast, where we try and go over NFL content from all 32 teams every single day. And boy, oh boy, there's always something going on in the NFL world. And if you like what you hear, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's go. With two games coming up tonight, I figured I'd make exactly one more video today. And the first game I want to talk about is the more of the headliner between the Bengals and the Broncos. And the reason why I want to talk about this game first is because I don't really think it's going to be as entertaining. I maybe I've already written off too much, but after the Bengals' absolute thrashing by Minnesota last week, where the offense just couldn't get things going, they were fumbling all over the place, special team guffaws, all the things, all the works, all the classics of a really bad game went the way of the Bengals, and they just looked lost without Joe Burrow. And you could say that about any team going down, their quarterback out for extended period of time. The offense is going to look misaligned. Well, again, as I've alluded to before, when Joe Burrow is the main, centerpiece of your offense, as yeah, he's a quarterback, he should be, but when you rely on him just a little bit more, because the rest of the team, whether it be the offensive line or the defense as a whole, or maybe just this coaching in general, is now all of a sudden nowhere to be seen. And yeah, Jake Browning, this was his first game in a while, but do you really trust Jake Browning to get you over the finish line at it? I think with all this talent, I kind of wonder, are Bengals gonna be some type of buyer? Probably not. You're asking Jake Browning to recover from playing Minnesota, a very good team overall and a very good defensive roster, but asking them to go against this Denver Broncos defense on the road there, I'm gonna have to pass on any semblance of hope for this Bengals unit. I really just think that they're just so scattershot, at least in that last game. Look, they could look a lot better than that and still lose this game by a decent amount. Um, the Broncos had the firepower on the other side of the ball to dismantle this Bengals defense first and foremost. If Bo Nix starts rolling around and getting going under Sean Payton's schemes, and you know they start getting the looks that they want, and he's just connecting as he's shown a couple times this season, and obviously throughout last year, it's going to be a long fucking day for this Bengals defense, and that's just their defense. The offense, as I've said, uh, unless things change within a week and this offense can seem more cohesive with Jake Browning, sure, they might look a little bit better than last week, but again, it's not a high bar. So, yeah, kind of unfortunate that these were the two games that we were given in the Sunday night slot. Now, however, I will preface this though: if if Joe Burrow were to be in this game, this Bengals Denver game would be awesome. I would definitely be a little bit more hyped about it, and that's just how much of a difference this whole team is without the centerpiece, and why you have to build other things than just quarterback and receivers. Bengals. It's like, well, what about Trey Hendrickson? They paid him. It's like, yeah, they extended him for a year, gave him a little bit pay raise, but yeah, they got it done this year. Uh, I'm not too thrilled about Cincy. Uh, Barring, I guess, an absolute atrocious offensive performance from Bo Nix and this Broncos offense, which I don't think is going to happen. Yeah, I'm already writing them off. If you are betting on the Bengals to win this game and they win, then you should go buy a lottery ticket. Going on to the Jets Dolphins game in Miami, the Jets getting back Justin Fields for this game, coming off the concussion. I'm gonna say it straight out. I think the Jets are going to win this game. I That's crazy. I never really bet on the Jets, but I think this is going to become the tipping point for Miami. And kind of evaluating this roster and this potentially this coaching staff and everything. Um, I really do think, first and foremost, I want to shout out the Jets and you know getting Justin Fields going. I know he just missed a game because of the concussion, but when he's played, he's looked a lot better. At least what they're asking him to do. and relying on his athleticism, but not completely. He's looked a little bit more. He's looked good. Like, his first game of the year, I thought he looked great against the Steelers. Even his second game, I thought he looked pretty damn good too. Like, overall, he's definitely gotten better, and that's part of the reason why I think that this Jets team overall kind of matches up pretty nicely with Miami. Unless we get an absolute offensive showcase and fireworks galore from Tua to Tyreek, and these corners are just getting killed and left down an island, I still have a lot of belief in this defensive front from the Jets to get where it is against a very putrid overall offensive line for the Dolphins, and really rattle Tua's cage essentially, and get to him. I really I'm not super high on either of these teams, as I've said before in this video. Like, damn, Dolphins, Jets. Sorry, fans, for both teams out there, but it's kind of been you guys know where this season has been going for both your teams, respectively. So it's like, but we all get to see it. It could be an absolute, just struggle bus event of a game, and that would be fun. I'm not trying to dunk on them too much, but I really do think the Jets are going to be able to come in and have a sound game plan against Miami and come away with this. I didn't bring it up in the last game. I'm gonna make my predictions right now. So I didn't say this in the last one, but for the Denver game, Denver Cincy, I have Denver winning 24-10 in that game. And then this Miami Jets game, I do have the Jets winning 27-20. I do think that Miami offense will still be able to get theirs when it's possible, but overall, I just do not trust this Miami offensive line and Tua being able to work it out, get it out under pressure, and especially when there's talented corners on the other side of the football that can play. And uh, I don't really, Devon A. Chain is a great player, but again, due to the run blocking, due to that, the run game hasn't really been going for Miami. And yeah, I think this will be a pretty solid game. Again, it's one of those two teams matches where you're like, yeah, whatever. Those division matches in general are usually pretty fun. So I'm kind of excited to see. Um, but if Miami were to lose this game, and I've said this before, about Mike McDaniel and his head coaching, in his head coaching tenure and everything, and the loss of respect for him and in that locker room. If they were to lose to the Jets tonight in prime time, when the Jets coming into your house, how do you think that he lasts longer than Halloween? Especially with all the trade rumors about Tyreek Hill and trying to blow it all up in general. Like, this could be a catalyst game if they cannot seal it. Now the Dolphins, they've they've looked a little bit better in past games, as kinda, but yeah, I think this is, even if you're a Dolphins fan and you got the Jets coming to you, and the Jets, you're not happy about them, uh, and you're thinking, well, we could handle this. I think this is the trap game for you all. One last little food for thought here, as I talked about the potential of Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins getting fired. Well, even though they're in a different situation because they drafted the first overall pick in Cam Ward and we knew it was going to be a process, what is Coach Callahan inspiring this team like right now? Like, this Titans team, I watched that game, and it was against the Texans, division rival, very good defensive team. I'm not trying to undermine the team that they lost to at all. Um, and even if they had lost, right, it's still sure, but no matter that they lost. I mean, they went into halftime, and the score was 6-0. Outside of one great throw at the begin, like the very first drive from Cam Ward, that led them into field goal range, that offense is just so uninspiring. This offensive line that they have, that they've tried to in some way address, is getting throttled. I worry so much that, because I think Cam Ward's a stud, man. Like, I really like his story. Whether or not he translates to upper echelon type of quarterback, I really do not know. I'm not even saying that. I just think that he can be something for Tennessee. And the worst case scenario for them is if you're sticking with a coach who probably is not going to be here for the long term. This offensive line that he brought in his dad, who's an amazing offensive line coach, one of the best of all time, and yet they're still not getting it. Now the defense from Tennessee has been pretty solid, but Coach Callahan is the head coach, more of offensive mind. He doesn't really have much say over it. That's all the defensive coordinator over there. So exactly, what is it you do here? Like at this point, because he's not really inspiring the guys. This team it looks dejected. It looks lost. The offense to lose that game and have no points. And sure, you could blame the missed field goal at the beginning of the game, yeah, but they couldn't do anything the rest of the other fucking 60 minutes of the game either. You know, uh, it's just what's going on here? Because I'm sure people be like, "Oh, see, Cam Ward, he's not good," but they have such a long way to go. And at this point, like, are you super confident that Coach Callahan can be your guy moving forward? I don't think so. I don't think he's shown anything outside of being able to get you the number one overall pick. And, I would hate to see Cam Ward go through what Alex Smith did, for instance, with the Niners, where just consistent change of leadership and coaching changes because it was like, well, it's not working out. It's not working out. Well, even though I'm saying, like, yeah, fire this guy now, you got to try and get someone right away and then not ruin this development more because if they keep Coach Callahan for another year, let's say, and they're still bottoming out in their division or just not really a threat to make the playoffs, they're going to fire that. They're going to fire him and then do it all again. So even if you give him the rookie grace period of 1 year, I don't have a lot of faith that he's going to turn it around in general. So when do you pull the plug? Um, I don't really. I feel like right now he's so much coaching for his job or maybe a new look that he's gonna forget to develop some like Cam Ward. Now that's not even really the part of it, and maybe that's not even really his job to develop him, right? Maybe he doesn't see it that way. And sure the Titans are kind of absolutely in a dysfunction. It's not just about that. There's a reason why they picked number one overall, but uh, yeah, again, like I said, like he's not really bringing anything to the table. How long do the Titans go this way? Do they just keep their heads down and say, by the end of the year, sure? Or do they like, hey, like this is not working, and we started seeing now Cam Ward just not even really producing much, if anything, especially against that Texans team. Again, good defense, but it's like, yeah, pressure was on him all the time. He's looking a little bit more skittish than he did even by week one. This massive change of events here, and it's only been a few weeks. Um, you know, Cam Ward's obviously going to continue to develop and learn himself in the league, and it doesn't take a coach to develop you on those aspects. But the overarching understanding, fundamentalism of the playbook and everything else like that is what you need the coach for. And I just feel like he's not really getting it, or it's he's getting it, but the words of advice and the tutoring is just not a great mentor.